There's an organ inside your body right now that's working harder than pretty much anything else. It's got over 500 different jobs, from filtering your blood to giving you energy. And the wild part, it does all this completely silently. So what happens when this silent hero starts to struggle? Well, we're about to uncover the subtle warning signs of liver disease, the ones that most people just brush off, often until it's far too late. Okay, I want you to just look at this number for a second. 90%. Because by the time most people actually feel sick enough to think something's wrong with their liver, this is the number we're often dealing with. Yeah, you heard that right. Up to 90% of your liver function can already be gone. So the biggest takeaway here is that we just can't afford to wait until we feel sick. We have to learn how to listen to our bodies and recognize those early, quiet whispers. Let's start with the very first one. All right, so our first signal, this one is maybe the most common and also the easiest one to just completely dismiss. Because let's face it, who isn't tired these days? But we're not talking about your typical I had a long week kind of tired. No, this is a deep, profound exhaustion. It's the kind of fatigue where you can get a full 8 hours of sleep and still wake up feeling totally drained, like your body is just heavy and simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. And here's why that happens. Your liver is basically your body's power plant. It's supposed to take the food you eat and turn it into fuel. But when it's damaged, that power plant is struggling to keep the lights on. It can't convert energy efficiently, so your body's cells are essentially running on empty. And, no amount of sleep is going to fix a fuel crisis. So beyond that deep feeling of exhaustion, the next few signs are way more visible. These are external clues that something is seriously wrong on the inside. Yeah, these next three, think of them as your body waving a big red flag. They're clear physical changes you can actually see, and they should never, ever be ignored. Okay, let's break these down. First up, number 2 is jaundice. You might notice a yellowish tint to your skin or in the whites of your eyes. That's caused by a buildup of something called bilirubin, which comes from old red blood cells that a struggling liver can't clear out. Then there's number 3, ascites. This looks like a really swollen, tight belly. And it's not fat. It's actually fluid that's leaking from blood vessels because the liver isn't making enough protein to keep it in. And finally, sign number 4, dark, kind of cola-colored urine. This is a big one. It's that same bilirubin spilling over into your urinary tract. So those are some pretty dramatic changes. But what else is your body trying to show you? What about the clues that are hiding in plain sight, right on your skin? All right, this brings us to our final group of signs, these strange signals that pop up on your skin. These are so often misdiagnosed as just a simple skin issue, when the real problem is much, much deeper. Let's run through these. So, sign number 5 is relentless, intense itching that no amount of lotion seems to fix. The reason? Bile salts are literally building up right under your skin. Number 6 is bruising easily or cuts that take forever to stop bleeding. This happens because your liver isn't producing enough of the clotting factors your blood needs to do its job. And finally, number 7, spider veins. These little web-like blood vessels can show up when a struggling liver can't regulate hormones like estrogen properly, causing these tiny vessels to swell up and become visible. Okay, I know we've covered some pretty concerning stuff, but this story is not all doom and gloom. In fact, we're at the turning point. Because the most incredible thing about your liver is its amazing ability to heal itself. And this is the most important message I want you to take away today. Your liver has this remarkable, almost superpower-like ability to regenerate. If you catch the damage early enough, it is not a life sentence. You can absolutely turn things around. So how do you do that? How can you help it heal? Well, here are 5 simple, actionable steps you can start taking today. First, cut back on alcohol. It's a huge burden on your liver. Second, reduce the amount of processed junk food you eat. Remember, your liver has to filter all of that. Third, just stay hydrated. Water helps flush out toxins. Fourth, bring in more foods that actually support your liver. And number 5, and this is the big one. If any of this sounded familiar, please just talk to your doctor. Ask for a simple liver function test. And speaking of those liver-supportive foods, here are some real powerhouses to consider. We're talking leafy greens like spinach and kale, beets, garlic, turmeric. And here's a fun one that might surprise you. Coffee. Yep, multiple studies show that moderate coffee drinking can actually help protect your liver. Pretty cool, right? So let's end with this.
Your whole life, your liver has been working around the clock in total silence just to protect you. So the question is, after hearing all this, what's one small change, one simple thing you can start doing today to start protecting it back?